It's McColony says, can we stop talking coronavirus? It's annoying. Yeah, I'm getting a bit of coronavirus fatigue myself. I just wanted to bring it up at the beginning of the stream, answer a couple of questions, and I also had a comment from the xisumasays channel that I really liked and wanted to bring up. So I'm going to read that. I bookmarked it. So this was from Squigs saying, thank you. There is a scary new trend among the youth with not believing authority on anything that is so stupid and dangerous that I can only imagine it comes of having no experience with the world. Playing rebel and saying the doctors are dumb might make you feel good about yourself, like you're some secret genius that understands medicine better than doctors. But you're playing with people's lives when you do that. This trend extends way throughout life and has gotten awful over the past 4 years or so. And you telling people that they are not smarter than the experts is a great service to someone that might act like that and look up to you. So here's what I think about that comment. I can cast my mind back to a time when I was someone who didn't like authority, didn't trust experts. I had pretty much the attitude they're describing. And I also can tell you that that was way before 4 years ago, and that it's probably been around for a long time, that youth generally have disdain for authority sometimes. Now, I think it's an emotional thing. And I'm not telling you, like, this is my answer, I know what's going on. This is just what I think, all right? This is my guess. I think it's emotional. If I look back on what would motivate me to think and feel like anti-authority type things and be distrustful of government and believe in conspiracy back when I did, it was driven by, uncertainty and not feeling like you're a part of society. And if I've been steered in the other direction to a place where I now tend to actually trust those sorts of sources more, it's because, one, I've found myself over time more and more interested in science and truth, and become interested in more educational types of topics and learning about the world. And two, it's also feeling like I have a place, a sense of being, and that's actually been given to me by all of you. When I started YouTube, I was probably still pretty close to that more conspiratorial mindset, but I've sort of been given a sense of purpose and community through what I do here on YouTube. I take great pride in it, and that has steered me to, better feelings and better things. So I personally believe that kind of rebellion in young people when they want to distrust authority and whatnot, I think it's completely understandable. The world can be a scary place where your future is very uncertain. There's not a lot of safety nets out there for people. There's not a lot of prospects on the horizon sometimes when you're young. And so it makes a lot of sense to me that you could feel that way. So that is my response to that comment that I got on my video. And I pass it off to all of you now if you have any thoughts on that. Perhaps you're someone who doesn't like experts, doesn't like all this opinion on what to do, the government's authority telling you to self-isolate and things like this. Let's have a look in chat. I think there's a balance between trusting the experts and not. You shouldn't dismiss the experts, but you shouldn't blindly trust them 100% either, says Ori. I kind of agree. If I could expand on what you said, I think it's that you need to try and find multiple sources of information, and you tend to find something that feels rational and reasonable that overlaps, that tends to make sense. That's kind of my experience with that. Who do you trust? Because you can find experts that contradict each other. It's kind of a common thing. It's not that I have a distrust of authority, but more so a distrust of the current right-wing governments of UK, US. I'm currently abroad in the UK, and they're handling this crisis terribly. Yeah, I mean, I think personally, I feel like it's not a time to politicize it and make it about left and right. I think it's the time to stick together and work together. I think it'd be a bit dangerous to, unproductive and unhelpful, get through this first and then maybe reflect on it after and learn from it. But the other thing is, with these things, it's always an opinion. You don't actually know how it would have been if someone else was in power, right? There's many different ways you can act and respond to it, and sometimes it's, your reaction might be more emotional than you realize. Like, it might not actually matter what kind of actions are being taken. It will never feel like enough, right? Not saying that that's the case for you, but just that's kind of like my gut reaction to that. You never do quite know, right? What way do you think is the best way to fight it? Saiti, I think the best way to fight it is to educate yourself by reading the material available on the World Health Organization website and listening to podcasts. Joe Rogan did one with, his name's Michael O. I know the second letter, his second name, the first letter is O. And then Sam Harris has put out 2 fantastic podcasts. Now, these are with vetted people from within organizations that deal with this type of stuff. They appear to be experts. And by listening to 3 different people, because Sam Harris has 2 podcasts, by listening to 3 different people, and I mean, these things go on for hours. They're not these bite-sized bits of information that you get from like your ITV and your BBC. They're like proper full-on conversations that go in depth with professionals, experts, people in the know, and they're really, really informative. But you will hear, even within them, that there are disagreements and whatnot. So I think it's important that you follow the advice of your government, because we can have different opinions on what's the wrong or right way to do it, but the important thing is to work together. What they're saying about washing your hands is really important. Social distancing is important. Trust experts, but with a little bit of suspicion, says. Where did that one go? I mean, Cragen. Yeah, but why with suspicion? Why should we? It's because the nature of reality is really unbelievably difficult to actually prove. I mean, theoretical physics hasn't come along and gone, oh, we've got all the answers, here you go. They're still trying to figure it out. And for all the years we've been trying to figure out the nature of reality, we keep finding more mysteries. The fact is, what's really going on at the bottom of everything is incredibly difficult and complex to understand. And so even experts who have been studying something for years of their lives come, and have all sorts of different insights and views and takes and perspectives. So that's why you can have, experts saying different things about something, because these are incredibly complex and difficult systems, how viruses come about and spread, and we're all trying to figure it out through statistics and data, and we're all going to fall folly to our own human shortcomings of biases and whatnot. So that's why you can have, experts with different opinions, and that's why I think it's smart to sort of inform yourself to some extent through listening to multiple different sources. Anyway, the problem is that a lot of people do not go and research why social distancing is helpful and instead will disregard it. Yeah, that's what I'm kind of experiencing around me, is just other people not willing to actually learn, and they're just hearing whatever the BBC has condensed into a little 3-minute video on YouTube, or like a short thing in the newspaper. It's a good time. It's a good time to listen to a podcast. Let me put it like that. Like, you can learn a lot at the moment about what's happening. But if you're going to read those websites, how do you feel the coronavirus will affect the economy? I mean, the economy is something as I've gotten older, become kind of fascinated with. How does it work? What is it about? Like, when I was younger, it was just like some boring thing that people used to talk about, oh, the economy. But now I kind of get it. It's all the moving parts of the world, right? And how interconnected we all are. And it looks like it's going to affect it in a really bad way. But I don't know. You have to wait and see. Like, will there be a bounce back effect when everything starts coming back into play? I have no idea. But I understand what's going on. People can't work, services and shops shut down, and they might be difficult to reboot. That's why the government is rolling out these massive measures to give money to businesses in the form of loans to keep them going. It also shows you the weakness of the system we have running, though, that we're in this situation. It's pretty dire. Michael Stickle is here for donation, saying, in the Netherlands, at 8 o'clock around the country, we applaud outside for the doctors and other essential personnel to help the victims and people keeping the stores stocked. I live across a hospital, so it was awesome to see they noticed. That is really nice. That is a great thing to do. Thank you for your donation, dude. Yeah, there's lots of people working really hard for us, and that's one of the things about the coronavirus is that I think when people downplay statistics and numbers, you're not quite seeing the impact of what this is going to do. Having this virus spread, it is going to, country by country, send more and more people into our healthcare systems. And not just people because they have the coronavirus, but regular people that need treatment. That would have been there anyway, right? And it's going to put a real strain on that system. And those systems could potentially collapse, crumble, or operate at a lesser capacity than desired. And so those people working in healthcare right now are they deserve more than a round of applause. They're going to be holding it together for us. But the problem is that this can send too many people and really put those systems under strain.